All right, guys. So today we're going to be checking out a pretty intriguing pair of IEMs, and that is the VSONIC Icebergs. This is a pair that comes in at $75. And honestly, I think if Apple were to ever get into like the IEM market at all, I think this product actually have a chance of being kind of like a glimpse of what Apple would produce. And I'll kind of explain that. First off, it's going to mainly be because of the design. Now, when I looked at these initially, I saw that they were available in a bunch of different colors, even like a bright yellow. I have the purple ones here, and I actually really like this purple color. It's very muted looking. Again, it kind of resembles like some of the iPhones. It does have a matte finish to it, but it's very small, it's very sleek, it has a smooth finish to it. And overall, I'm a huge fan of the design of these. I'd actually like to see some of the other colors in person because I even feel like the purple that you see online doesn't do these any justice at all. Now, the branding's pretty simple. You can see VSONIC on the outside. The nozzle on these are pretty small. Again, this is a very low profile IEM. And then moving even over to the packaging, it's very simple. You just see VSONIC on the outside of the box. Whatever information is on the back is foreign, so I can't really even tell you what it's saying, but it's really nothing printed on the box itself. It is just a sticker on the back. Now, as far as what actually comes in the box, it does come with this little drawstring pouch. This is basically just to keep the IEM itself, maybe some of the accessories, definitely like the cable in here, but it's not anything that's going to really protect it from like being crushed. Now, they do come with 4 sets of silicone ear tips, so you do have some different sizes to kind of try and make sure that you have the right fit with these. And then when it comes to the cable, this is where I definitely think it gets interesting. It comes with 2 different cables. You have one that is a 3.5mm connection so that you can plug it into anything that has a standard headphone jack, but then it also comes with a cable. Now, this one actually matched the purple of the IEMs itself that uses a USB-C plug-in. Now, this definitely is probably the most universal plug-in at this point because iPhones, pretty much every Android phone, laptops, computers, all have USB-C connections at this point. And another huge plus with the USB-C cable is, one, it gives you a DAC, so you're getting some amplification already with the cable itself, but it also has a mic on here. So if you want to take phone calls or if you want to use them for gaming, this would definitely be the cable that you would want to use. And here's a quick mic sample so you can kind of get an idea of what phone calls would sound like. So here is a quick mic test outdoors using the USB-C cable. And this is really just to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were using this cable and decided to take a call outdoors. So with the mic test out of the way, let's just go ahead and jump into the sound. Now, a few things to know before we actually get into the sound is it is using an 11mm dynamic driver, and it does have the copper-clad aluminum wire voice coil. And in my experience, in the past, before even testing this usually means the IEM is going to be fast. It's not going to be sloppy. They definitely want to put a lot of focus on the mids and the treble. So I kind of had an idea of what these would sound like before even going into them. And another thing I do want to point out is the impedance level on these is 80 ohms. So it is slightly higher than a lot of the other IEMs that I've tested lately, which usually comes in around 16. And the sensitivity level of these is sitting at around 111 decibels. So what all that means is if you're going to use the 3.5mm plug-in, I am going to say you do want to use an amp. You do really want to be able to power these to get really good lows, mids, and highs. And if you definitely want to blast these or turn them up, you're going to get your best volume, obviously, by using a DAC or an amp. It's not necessary. You can plug straight into a device. You are going to get some pretty decent volume just plugging straight in, but you're really not going to get the full effect of what these are meant to be. And what that is again, like I said earlier, this is a fast IEM. I would have gone into these if I just looked at the color and the design, and I kind of would have expected these to just have the typical U-shaped tuning, where it's just meant to have like this very, aggressive, punchy bass, brightened up treble where it can even be harsh, And that's just simply not the case. You could definitely tell that the mids are the focus of these. So going back to the cable that I said you would want to use these for gaming, you definitely would have a great experience using these with gaming. And that is because of the focus on the mids. You can hear a lot of footsteps. You can hear dialogue very clearly. There's a lot of characteristics and vocalists that are brought out in this pair. And for the pair being under $100, this was really a surprise. I did not expect this at all. But the low end on these, I am going to say if you are a bass head, you're probably going to be wanting more out of the low end. It's not a sloppy bass. It's not trying to replicate having a subwoofer. It's meant to kind of hit you and just move on. It is very fast. It does still have some punch to it. It's just, again, not like really aggressive like a lot of most consumer products. And then the treble in these, which I was kind of expecting to be like overly bright, it was kind of smoothed out in a way. Now, not like dull. I think they were just kind of trying to keep these from having that like sibilant sound with S's. And usually when you have that, that's where it kind of causes ear fatigue, where you can't like listen to a pair for a long time. And I did not experience that with these. So maybe, again, they were just trying to tame it in a way where it's not trying to overly do one thing over the other. But I am going to say that the mids are definitely the standout in here. And that kind of works itself pretty great across all genres, especially anything that's more instrumental and definitely vocal driven. I think that's where these stand out the most. And another thing that this pair is really good at, and again, this goes back to the gaming and movies side of thing, is the soundstage, the sound imaging. It definitely has a very open feel to them, and the positional awareness and situational awareness of where sounds are coming from. This pair has no issues with being able to pick up all of that. So honestly, my opinion on these, and to kind of wrap this video up, $75 is a really good deal for what you're getting. And I definitely see things kind of shifting back towards like wired headphones, wired IEMs. And I think the look of these is giving them more of a, again, mainstream look. It's clean, it's simple, it fits that Apple vibe for people that are into that. But the sound that you're getting is very, very impressive. It shies away from like the consumer tuning, but it's giving you a lot of details that you don't normally get in like sub $100 products. I mean, I've tested a ton of IEMs, a ton of headphones. Every now and then you will find one that is focused on that and does a really good job with the mids and with the treble, but usually something else is gonna be lacking. And I didn't feel that throughout my whole time with testing these. So if you are interested in checking these out, they are on AliExpress, which I'll have a link to all of this in the description. But guys, that's my video on the VSONIC Iceberg IEMs. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.